Hey, Jesse Bussard, it's good to talk to you. I've never met you before. I've seen you on social media a lot. Tell me who you are and where you're from.
Well, I'm Jesse Bussard. I'm from actually central Pennsylvania is where I'm originally from. But I live in Lexington, Kentucky now, and I'm attending grad school at the University of Kentucky studying crop science.
All right, and you're really quite active on social media. I see you all the time. You've got
I'm probably one of the people that's more active than most on there. I do a lot of stuff for the beef industry and agriculture in general.
And so why do you think it's so important for you to tell the story of agriculture?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, there's a lot of negative media out there about our industry that we need to speak up for ourselves, and put our information out there so that it's balanced and people can make a good decision. And also, just people want to know, farmers, ranchers, and people that are producing their food. They really do want to know. And if we can put our stories out there and tell, from our own personal perspective, it puts a face on that, and it just makes it more personal to the consumer. It's just more of a one-on-one, relationship. We create a dialogue and be personal about it and just honest. And I think that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for somebody that's going to come in and educate them or tell them exactly how it is. They want to have a relationship with you and talk with you and find out why you do what you do and your perspective on things.
So tell me a little bit about your background as far as agriculture is concerned.
Well, I have a pretty varied background. My dad actually is a logger. He works in the forestry industry in Pennsylvania. And my mom grew up on a small beef cow-calf operation. So I have both the agriculture side with farming and then with the logging industry. So I have those two things. And I've just showed horses, I showed cattle, showed rabbits, did a lot of different things. And so I have a lot of experiences, a lot of different things. Then I decided to go to college, and I have got to do a lot of cool things through that too. So,
what kind of things are you studying in college?
I am actually, it's pretty technical and scientific, but my research looks at the physiological impacts of fescue toxicosis on beef cattle that are grazing endophyte infected tall fescue.
Okay, so you just opened up a whole can of worms there.
Yeah.
So we're talking about fescue. Tell them what fescue is.
Tall fescue is a cool season forage.
What's a forage?
Forage is a grass or a legume. We're just going to go with the grass here. This tall fescue is a grass, and it grows mainly in cool times of the year. So in spring and fall is when it's most active and growing. The tall fescue that we have here in the southeastern region of the U.S. is a variety called Kentucky 31, and there is a fungus that lives in a symbiotic relationship with that grass, and that fungus produces something called ergot alkaloids, which are actually toxic in high amounts to cattle. And my research looks at trying to look at different ways to manage cattle on this grass to mitigate those effects, those negative effects, and to still keep animal performance at a satisfactory level.
Okay, so this is great because what you've just done there is that you've shown a lot of people that there is a whole lot more to farming and especially ranching than they ever imagine. I mean, it is a very intricate occupation.
And it's different all across the country. I mean, they have this issue here in the southeast, but there's other issues in the Pacific Northwest and in the Northeast and down in Texas. They have different types of forages and plants all across the country, and it's very interesting to me. I'm what you would call an ag nerd. I love agronomy, which is basically crop science and animal stuff. So I just love learning about different types of plants and all that stuff.
People actually write back to you on social media and ask you questions?
Yeah, they do. I get a lot of questions on Twitter from people that have no agriculture experience at all, and it's just really interesting that they like to follow me just because I think that what they really draws them is that they see somebody that has a passion for something that they don't know anything about, and they want to know why does that person so passionate about that, and that draws them to you. And then they see that you're passionate about it and you're honest about what you're doing, and then they want to ask you questions, and that kind of that's the first step to creating that relationship with that person to create a dialogue, and then you can go into other issues in agriculture and kind of talk to them about it. Absolutely. Or ask them what their perspective is on different issues.
What's your plans for the future?
Well, I'm kind of up in the air at the moment. About 10 months till I'm done with my master's degree. So I'll be graduating in December, and I had considered doing a PhD, but I'm starting to lean more to getting a job, full-time job for a little while, and then maybe going back and getting a PhD a little bit later on.
Tell them how that they can reach you if they want to know more about agriculture.
Okay, you can find me on Facebook.
All right.
Just look up Jesse R. Bussard, and you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter, which is @CowgirlJessie. You can find my blog, Pearl Snaps Ponderings. It's on WordPress. Oh, Google+. I'm on Google+ too.
All right. Thanks, Jesse Bussard, for all that you do for agriculture. I've got one more question. I always ask the same question of every interview I ever do.
Okay.
Why do you do what you do?
Because I love it. There's really no other reason why. I just love agriculture. I love the cattle industry. It's just something I'm passionate about, and I couldn't imagine not doing what I do. So
that's going to be it for Consumer Ag Connection. I'm Pam Fretwell.